Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here, how are you doing? Well, it's been a really good week so far, I mean aesthetically pleasing wise anyway. We had 4 stars on Monday, 4 on Tuesday and 5 stars yesterday. And I can promise you right now that today's map is not going to let us down in this department. Despite it being, yes, Thursday. And for those of you new to the series, Thursday means only one thing, it's Throwback Thursday, where we go back and look at one of the early maps on the workshop. Okay, let's see what we've got for you today. It's Kaskaskia Bay by Guernica. This is obviously some kind of fjord type thing with mountains and a valley with rivers. Pretty smart, pretty nice. Seen this sort of thing before. There's your start square. Start square looks pretty fine as well. Look at that in a bit more detail a bit later on. And then you've got your resources, which is fertility and ore abound. Pretty nice too. What do we need off the workshop? Well, it's old, so where it says network extensions project, we need network extensions too. There are 2 train station mods, train track mods as well, and the realistic Boreal theme. We are of course using the realistic 1.2 LUT today because no, that is requested, and that's my go-to LUT for you guys. Not that I like it myself, but there we are. We've got a little loop back there on the highways. I'm not particularly keen on it, but I guess if you don't want to leave the map, it's handy to be able to turn back at that point, because the point of no return. Okay, now here is a bit of a change of scene now. It kind of gives me a feel of the outrun games of the 1980s, where you go from the forestry, or not quite at this point, sorry, I got a bit carried away. Not yet, but where you go from the forestry backdrop to something a bit different. And this little change is a little bit different. So imagine playing Outrun with that as your background now. I kind of like that. I think that works quite well. Of course, we'll have a look at that in a little bit more detail a bit later on, once we've concluded the network and had a look at sort of the road and the rail. We'll follow this now. We go into the grass and head for our first bridge. And the first bridge is, well, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine, nothing to say about that really. Nicely positioned, everything's perfect about it, and considering it's an early map, that's good work. Now here's our start square intersection, and the start square is kind of like, let me get into, there you go, that kind of area, there's your start square. I know a few of you will have noticed, like all of you will have noticed, there's a lot of traffic going on here. It's not an efficient start square intersection, and if I'm honest with you, needs fixing. Definitely needs fixing. Look, traffic trying to turn right, and this is like just poor, I'm afraid. Poor selection. There are plenty to just, you could delete it and plop one in and have that fixed in no time whatsoever. But yeah, we've got a tailback already, and we haven't even started building a city. So that needs fixing. Anyway, we've got National Road here, and I don't have a problem with it being a national road. We just need a better intersection at the bottom. Follow this through the forests, past the river, up alongside the river. It's all fairly standard fare. Fairly standard, nothing really to grumble about. As I say, early map, and there's nothing wrong with this at all, of course. Nice little bridge over there. Level crossing, that's going to cause more tailbacks on this particular stretch. Once again, not necessarily a huge problem. Little bridge over there might be a little bit better. Then we separate up single lanes into double lanes, and we're dual carriageway all the way to the edge of the map. Around here, loops around here, loops across that way, through the forest. It looks, considering this is vanilla, and these are vanilla trees, it doesn't look too bad at all, does it? I like the way also that these 2 highways separate on elevation, so the bridges are going to be poor, but actually, I think you get away with it. I think actually that works. And that surprised me. I never thought I was going to be saying that when I saw the elevation difference, but there we are. Anyway, off into the fog, which means we can turn back and follow the same route back out along the rail. Nice little perfect railway bridge here and here. Now, there are a couple of rail connections. This one's the more obviously, we're going to call it the perfect one. The other one, there's something to talk about, which we've not done before. Also, no catenaries, and that's down to, I thought I had my catenary replacer switched on again. Oops. But no, of course, we got those two railway track mods that we're using, and that would have been selected this catenary free rail track, which was probably still bothering me at this point while I was still flying over. But let's not worry about that one, because it ends there. Right, okay, let's go and flit over to the edge of the map over the other side. Come on, flip, that's better. And we'll follow this one. Now this one, you can see a little bit more hilly, and you see the gentle climb that we're using here. I'm happy with this. And then something very strange happens. This. Right, oh, on the left we've got a dead end, and on the right we've got a very steep, stupid hill. I'll tell you what that is. That is very clever. Okay, this track, the up and down roller coaster, is to be deleted. Okay, this is prior to Bloody Penguin's mods that allows you to build tunnels in the map editor. So, what's he done? He's put the rail track where he wants the tunnel to be, done an up and over, and then here we are, another one again. Right there, he wants the tunnel to start there. This is the up and over stupid track. There's where the tunnel comes out. You build the tunnel because I can't, because the map editor won't let me, and there are no mods, although there are now dead ends there, by the way. And so, yes, it's down to us to put the tunnel in, and I think that's good thinking, of course. Anyway, today's asset review, off to Assetville, and we have the Saturn Alexanderplatz No Props On Ground version by Sven Berlin. This for me is a shopping mall, a modern-ish shopping mall. To me it looks like an 80s, possibly 90s build. Guessing, don't know. And you got all the modern shopping units along the bottom, and on the top would be like warehouses and I guess office space. Although there's no windows up there, so maybe not office space. So maybe it is just a warehouse upstairs. Oh no, there's windows on the front. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. What do you mean, maybe, BonBon? Oh, I love the shape of this. This is great for if you want to plop the building and you don't have to move it and you want a slightly different shape. This is a great building for that. Of course, most of us have to move it these days. You can plop a square one down. So Saturn Alexanderplatz No Props version on grounds by Sven Berlin. And that is today's asset of the day. And off to Themington Island for Nightfall version now, and it's Europa theme by Julia Iris 289 with Definitive Vision LUT. Now, yes, this isn't the world's greatest theme, however, it's different and I felt it needed showcasing, and so for that, well done Julia, very glad to see it. Okay, factoids time. Factoids. The Motor Car Act of 1903 fixed the speed limit at 32 kilometers per hour or 20 miles per hour. I'm guessing that's a UK law as well. Most of these factoids seem to be UK based. In the case of nuclear attack, in the case of nuclear attack, the Eastbourne area is likely to be one of the safest spots in Great Britain. Oregon is reckoned to be the safest part of the United States. I would argue against that. I think Dungeness Nuclear Power Station is a little bit too close to Eastbourne for that to be claimed to be safe, but there we are. Okay, let's have a look at the shipping routes. That's fine over there. And then the shipping route over here, back in Kaskaskia Bay, we've got one that loops around this way, loops around here as well, and then at the top, we've got a little extra loop in case you need to get a bit further. And if we pull back, look, it's BonBon's first dinosaur. Oh, lovely. Fantastic. Let's go and have a look at the water flow before I go completely mad. mad, I tell you. Water flow. Water flow is, to be fair, actually, the water flow isn't too bad in these rivers, but it does get a bit gloopy. We do have some problems with gloopy water here, I'm afraid. And I have tried to let the game run free, let it run at high speed, and see if it'll clear itself, and it doesn't. We'll go and have a look at that in a little bit more detail in a moment. But yes, the water flows like rivers. This is a river, and we've got gloopy going on here as well. And well, let's see. We'll see. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Anyway, keep rolling, BonBon. Keep the camera rolling, BonBon. Down here, it flows out into the cove, the bay. The water is coming back towards us here, though. So that area there could possibly start filling up with, water's pushing in there as well. That could be your sewage area there. Could be a problem. But yes, as you can see, the water is just trickling along there, and then we get what little lulls like that every now and then. And there's a bit of a cause for this, and the cause for this, if I can just kind of turn the camera around like this one, you'll notice that we get narrow parts of the river like that, then you get wider parts like here, and then it gets narrower again like here, and that's what's causing these little bulges and those little ripples in the stream, and then giving us little bits like that to deal with. Then it merges with the other river, but you're still getting slight little lulls in the water like that every now and then. And I've given it plenty of time to fix itself, and it hasn't fixed itself. So there's a minor water flow issue, of course. These rocks look really nice along here. Very tidily done. However, if we have a look properly, we've got a little bit of water glitching going along with these ones, which is often the case with the vanilla rocks. If you try to be too clever with them, the water mechanics in the game got a bit confused. We'll find a better example of this in a moment around here somewhere. I know there is. Yeah, like here, right there. Water just not getting into that gap there, into the crevices. Do you like my crevices gotten into, you know? Little island down here with a couple of abandoned buildings. I like that. And then, of course, the jetty that you can't get into because it's too high. And unlike a previous map this week, I don't think it looks like the sand's been washed away. It just looks poor. And I wouldn't have put the jetty that side anyway, to be honest with you. Where were we? Yes, let's go and have a look at these mountains. I've got to be honest, the Boreal theme for mountains looks, the vanilla one this is, looks amazing. Actually, it's not the vanilla one, is it? I beg your pardon, it's the workshop one. What am I talking about? I have no idea. Should I just keep talking gibberish to the end of the episode? Maybe I should. But anyway, the overall appearance of this map is really very lovely. The rivers are a bit chiseled for my liking. They should be a little bit smoothed out. Some nice forested area down here. And we'll head down and have a look on the end of here into the peninsula, and you can see it's not quite cutting through there. That's fine. It's okay. I don't have a problem with that. And then, oh look, we've got it's the Essential Lighthouse. Ooh, looks majestic up there actually. Let's just have a closer look and make sure that I'm happy with that. Do you know what? I'm kind of happy with that. It's not perfect, but it's not far off of it. And the jetty right by it. And the lighthouse keeper's cottage, it's all there. Okay, well let's rank this thing up, shall we? Aesthetically, yeah, it's very pleasing, very pleasing. Very like it a lot. I'm going to give very like it a lot. I like it a lot. Muchness and muchly. I'm giving it 4 stars. My language has gone today. Detailing, it's not bad. I'm tempted to give it a 4. Tempted to, but I think it just falls down here and there. And the water flow is a bit of an issue. Those globby bits won't affect the gameplay, but I can only really give it a 3 for that. But it's a very high 3, pushing a 4. Gameplay potential, once again, I was tempted to give it a 4. Then I remembered that start square and that start square intersection, which is going to kill any city build if you just start building like that. I'm giving it 3 stars. You need to upgrade that. Once you've upgraded that start square intersection, it's a 4-star with just slight concern over the water pollution. Kaskaskia Bay by Guernica is today's lovely Throwback Thursday map, and a very pretty one at that too. Well, thanks very much for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. Did you see Far Lone Sales last night? Did you? Well, if not, you should go and have a look. Nearly concluded the series now. Not too far to go. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen or how much further, but we're nearly there. And then, yeah. Then join me tomorrow for another map in the What's Map series. It's the Patreon vote tomorrow. All these guys have had a little bit of a vote, and so you'll get to pick and see their map that they've picked, and my voice has gone.